Imagining sitting down to start a project and you have everything at your fingertips for the ready. You don't have to search for anything. You don't have to stop. You don't have to dig through stash of product. You just get to make. That is what these gather videos are all about. Hi, I'm Jamie Pate, and if you are watching from YouTube, you have walked into a video that is the gathering for my next class called Grateful Today. It's a journal and folio. It is a mix bag of mixed media and mixing up layers and different page aspects inside one bound book. And what I love to do, and this is also free viewable video lesson on my classroom site, is what I love to do is share the items that I have already gathered, have actually already started to work with, and want to make sure that if you don't have exactly what I have, at least you have something like it. So let's get started with that. So for this next class that will be launching on October the 1st, it will be a book. We'll be starting from a book structure. So we need to make a book. And as always, I'm making a book with chipboard. So the chipboard weight is of your discretion. This one's pretty lightweight. I'm actually using a pretty heavier, almost like a book mat, like book board. Actually, I think it's called book board. It's almost book board weight. It's at ScrapbookCom. All the links to all these supplies will be included in this video, so be sure and check those out. So chipboard, the collection that I will be utilizing for this Grateful Today project is by Photoplay, called Autumn Junk. And I picked up the collection pack for a couple reasons. First of all, it has 2 of each of the patterns, and I'll show you what I have here. A bunch of this has already been cut into for another project, actually, but it does have 2 of every pattern paper, and so we will for sure be cutting into quite a bit of it for the making of the book, but then we'll have plenty of elements left for the embellishing of the book. So to give you an idea of what this paper looks like, we have beautiful florals. There's a lot of these cutaway pages. I know, don't you love how I cut that page? Doesn't that make you super curious? Makes me curious, and I did it. You have this great solid that we're making use of, this great repeat, but beautiful floral, autumn leaf print. You have this great plaid, and it's backed up with, there's a whole nother section to this, and you'll probably see it here in a moment, because like I said, there's 2 of all of these. So here's the full sheet of this fantastic diagonal. I mean, I think you just always should have stripes and diagonal in a collection. I'm a fan. And then these lovely tags that we'll be putting to work, as well as some definitions here and some other pattern elements as well. We have this page here. It's called Grateful Heart. There's this beautiful botanical print that is on one side of it, and on the other side, more cutaways, which we will also be making use of. We already saw this here in the beginning, but you can see the whole back side of it here. And we're using a couple of these cutaways as well. And here's the back of the plaid. Here's that whole sheet. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Pretty cool, huh? It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's got like this damask thing going on, and this fadeaway text, these leaves, this little label type element here. Looks like it's been sewn on. Here is a full sheet of the fall leaves, and then the full sheet of a textured, almost a corduroy, let me say that correctly, a corduroy pattern on the back of this paper. We'll be making use of that. This is a lovely, leafy, branchy, scarlet, all our favorite texture, distressed, text blend going on in this as well. And this fantastic definition paper. This one's called So Thankful, and I personally am so thankful for this paper right here. I love it so very much. Also in the collection pack is included a 12 by 12 sticker sheet, of which we will be utilizing in this class as well, okay? So that's the collection pack. So I do highly encourage, if you want your project to look like the one I'm making, I highly recommend grabbing that. As well as the ephemera. The cardstock ephemera comes as 30 pieces. You can see a couple of them here as I've already dove into these pieces here. There's some great shapes. There's some tickets. There's tags. There's frames, sentiments. Lovely loveliness. Blessed. I love this. Can't wait till I get to put that to work on my page. Oh, don't mind my die that's sitting in here as well, okay? So that's the ephemera pack. I also have listed on the Gather supply list a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. This cardstock is just super plain white, happens to be a bit of a smooth texture. This could be a textured cardstock. It doesn't have to be white. There's different ways as you get into the class, you'll see what this element is for, but I just grabbed, because I just have this in stock all the time, I just grabbed a white piece of cardstock that I had. Mixed media is going to be part of this class as well, so get ready for that. My favoriteest medium to add inks, texture, stenciling, stamping, water, whatever. I highly recommend this. This is exclusive to ScrapbookCom. This is the 6x8 and we'll need at least a 6x8 piece. So if you have the 8.5 by 11 or the 12 by 12 pack, we'll just need to cut it down to size. I also have, as part of our mix, this pocket page. And this one here is the 12 2x2. So if you can see that, let me help you see it, okay? These are 2x2 pockets, and we are going to be adding this into our project as well. So happy to have this Fall Stories Rub-On Transfer Set by 49 & Market. There are 2 sheets to this, and this gets utilized in a myriad of places throughout the project, so grab that. Then I have a couple of stamp sets that we're going to be using. This one's called Leaf Prints, and it's one of the newer stamps and stencils from Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous. Now, the thing about this is that it's currently, as of I am recording this right this minute, it's currently out of stock. So make sure you click notify me. There's supposed to be more coming in. I don't have any more specificity than that. And so when that does come in, if you don't already have some stamps that are leaves, then you might want to grab this one. But we're not beholden to having to use this one in particular. That's what I'm trying to get out. And I also am using the sketchy leaves from Stampers Anonymous too. This one actually happens to be on clearance right now, but it's a most beautiful leaf stamp set. For stencils, I have grabbed the Distress Diamond from Art and Creative Studio. We've used this in past classes, and I've grabbed it again. It's one of my most favorite stencils. Now, this one here is called Focus. It's by Tim Holtz, and it used to be available at ScrapbookCom. I believe it's still available at other outlets. Now, the thing is, what I will be linking to be an option for this larger tag stencil is the one that is the set and includes this just a little bit smaller. We're not needing this whole size in the classroom. We're just needing some parts of it. So the mini will work as well. If you have this already, count yourself super fortunate. I was surprised it was no longer available, but it's not. And so my apologies for that, as I already dove into it without realizing we couldn't get the big one from Scrapbook. But look around, you might find it in other places. Okay, I skipped over this one. This is elastic cord. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, it's stretchy. It's stretchy elastic cord. I happened to pick this one up from Walmart. I will put a link for a resource in the supply list for this, but this is something that is fairly integral to the class, so that's why it's included on the supply list, and I suggest it for your gathering as well. And then this twine here, I think this is Lawn Fawn. It'll be linked. I've been using this one quite a bit, and I find it terribly versatile. It's sort of kind of in its bulk kind of looks like a green, but it's really not. But it's been working with so many of my projects lately, so this will be available in the links as well. And then Scrapbook.com's vellum. It is my most favorite vellum ever. It is a lovely weight, and so this is part of our gathering as well. I also skipped through the dies for some reason. I am reaching back to the sprigs. This is an older Scrapbook.com die set, still available. Just anything that you have that is more foliage than it is leaf, if that makes sense. I wasn't trying to find a leaf die set to use. So if you have sprigs of sorts, if you have other favorite die sets, nothing depends upon having to have this set, but this is one of the first sets I ever got from them, and it is indeed a favorite. Okay, I think that's it for the products. Now let's talk about ink. All right, we are getting inky in this classroom, so let me go through what I have been using for the different art pages, etc. More than just the art pages that we're going to be using this on. So I have Distress Oxide Antique Linen, as well as Spice Marmalade in the Distress Oxide, okay? And then I also have, let me see, I've got two more over here that I forgot to add in, but with the Distress Oxide Minis, we'll go to that one next. I am using kit number 2, which is this one here, and kit number 6. If you have these in larger sizes, that's perfect, because I just really love having these easily accessible on my desk is the only reason why I'm using them. But the larger ink pads will work beautifully as well. Alrighty, for the Distress Spray Spritz, I have been reaching again and again for the Spice Marmalade and for the Fossilized Amber. And then for the Distress Spray Stains, I'll be using Antique Linen, Rusty Hinge, as well as Forest Moss. Okay, those are the inks that I'll be reaching for in this class. All right, let's talk about tools just for a moment. These are kind of the same ones that I use again and again. I don't think there's too many surprises in here, but I still just like to be able to chat about it for a moment. So a bone folder, a craft knife, a craft pick, a craft mat, which mine behooves me here for a moment. I'm currently using the silicone one by Ranger. Okay, so craft mat. We're using a crocodile in this class, and then an assortment of ink blending tools. I just have several that I'm always reaching for. Everything from these brush ink blenders to the domes to the minis. There's an extra small one in here. All of those I'm kind of reaching for, just depending on what I'm doing at the time. A heat tool. I don't actually have a heat tool that is available at scrapbook.com right now. I need to replace mine, but a heat tool is helpful. Not necessary, but definitely helpful. Paper towel, just whatever kind of paper towel you like to utilize when you are doing more inky kind of making. A ruler would be helpful. Sanding disc, and then the holder. Okay, people actually ask me what I'm using to hold that, and this is Ranger sanding disc and a scrapbook.com holder for that. Scissors, of course. Trimmer and scoreboard. I'm using my tried and true tonic one for that. Workspace mat, okay, and then as far as adhesive goes, kind of again the same thing. I'm always reaching for, especially when we're making books, for the 1/4-inch double-sided adhesive by scrapbook.com, one of my very favorite adhesives to work with. I have several different foam adhesives that I'll be utilizing too, of course. When we're building layers, I like to elevate it with the foam adhesive. More than likely, I'll probably be using that 3/4 size and then a tape runner as well. So that is a rendering of what's going to be utilized in this Grateful Today class that I'm so very excited about. It's just coming together so beautifully. So as of the posting of this video, the early registration is now open. The class will be linked right below in this video description, so be sure to check that out. Let me know of any questions you may have. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the class.